It's spring and orchids are in bloom. This first-time bloomer is my featured orchid for today, Vanda Ladda Gold. This orchid and how I finally got it to bloom after 2 years in my care, all coming up at the Orchid Hut. Welcome back to the Orchid Hut. My name is Dana and thank you for tuning in today for this featured orchid video. Now every time an orchid blooms for the first time in my collection, I do make a special video just for that orchid. And today's orchid is Vanda Ladda Gold. Now on the tag you will see reference to Ascosinda because it used to be classified as an Ascosinda orchid. But it's a man-made hybrid, and the cross now is between two Vandas. So one of the crosses became a Vanda, it was crossed with the Vanda, so now this particular orchid is just considered a Vanda as well. It does have, I think, though, the cutest little spikes and blooms. They almost look like little faces. And that golden color, I think, is just quite striking and unique. So for this particular blooming season, there were 4 spikes. The 2 at the top did really well. There might have been a bud or 2 that blasted. The 3rd one hasn't fully opened, it has a little bit of blast at the top. And the 4th spike right down here blasted completely. So there were 4 spikes and 3 of them have turned out in an acceptable sort of condition here. Now, I purchased this orchid about 2 years ago, so it was June of 2022. So I've had this orchid about, 21, 22 months now. And the first couple of seasons I grew it, it did not bloom, although there was evidence that it had bloomed previously, so I knew it was mature enough to bloom. It was just a matter of figuring out how to make it happen in my growing environment. So I don't treat this orchid any differently than my other Vandas. The root system, when it's outdoors during the growing season, gets misted every day, soaked in a bucket with fertilizer once a week. I do keep it a bit drier indoors during the winter. But really, the only thing I changed this year that I think produced the blooms is that I put it about 5 to 6 inches away from a very good grow light, so the light during the winter was a bit brighter than the light that it receives during the growing season. And I think that that may have actually triggered the blooming, so I will be doing that again next year. I will put a link at the very end of this video that shows this orchid when I purchased it 2 years ago and what it looks like when it's growing outside. Hanging under a tree near the Orchid Hut. And, I think that I will probably be trying to cut away this old plastic basket at some point when this is finished blooming and get it in a new setup. It does tend to enjoy sort of growing in this more of almost a mounted downward position with the roots hanging and the fans growing down and up. I do think that's a nice presentation for this orchid, so I will probably try to keep that intact. And really enjoying this cute miniature Vanda bloom on Ladda Gold. Okay, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. The subscribe button is coming up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Don't forget that notifications bell to let you know when I've posted something new. Thank you all so much for watching and talk to you next time.